Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. Happy holidays and a happy new year. I know it's a little bit late, it's a few days after the new year now, and I've been meaning to make an update video on the plans I have for the car and the plans I have for myself as a driver for this year. But to be perfectly honest, it's been a little bit difficult to get out of holiday mode. So let's talk about the car. Honestly, I haven't touched the car since the last track event of last year. It's just been sitting on the lift and waiting for me to go basically do something to it. As far as the plans for the car this year, I don't want to invest too much money into it this year. There's a lot of things in my personal life that I want to deal with financially, so I can't allocate all my fun money over to my car right now. And that's okay because I could still budget a little bit for it. But the idea is that I'm not going to be spending too much money on it this year. In terms of the changes that the car is going to see over the winter, one of the top priorities is going to be to refresh the engine. As you guys know, I burn a ton of oil. During one track weekend, I burn about 2 quarts of oil. So that means if you put that in perspective, one whole track weekend, I'm going through an entire oil change, which is insane. And it's getting expensive because it's all motul that's just going in the engine and immediately into the atmosphere, which is really, really bad. So we're gonna refresh it. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna pull the motor, we're gonna bring it up to Charlie Moa up in Minnesota, and he's gonna refresh the motor for me. We're gonna punch it out because most likely the cylinders are gonna be out of round and oblong or whatever, but they're gonna need to be overboard, slightly larger pistons, new rings. We'll refresh it with new bearings, all that stuff. It's essentially going to be just a factory rebuild because I don't want to add power to the car yet. I'm still learning, I'm still pushing the limits, and only until I cannot shave off any more time, or if I get someone else more capable of driving into the car and they can't turn any faster laps than I can, then I think that would be a good time to eventually start adding power. But for now, we're gonna stay at stock power levels, and Charlie's gonna help me out with that. Now, of course, I can put a motor together myself. Anyone can assemble a motor, but to really build an engine properly, I'm not talking about using plastic gauge or just bolting things together. A real engine building requires very precise machining, very precise measurements, stuff that I wouldn't say I'm not capable of doing, but I don't have the experience nor the tools nor the resources to do all of that. And of course, Charlie has had several years of engine building experience, and he's got the resources and he's got the tools and he's willing to help a brother out. So he'll be refreshing my engine over the winter, and it's going to be mint by the time it's done, and it'll be ready to go for next season. The second thing that needs to be changed that's high on the priority list is rebuilding the trans. I'm basically going to be doing a master rebuild, so I'm talking about new synchros, new bearings, new everything inside the trans, but most importantly, I'm going to be changing the stock 4.4 final drive out for a 4.9, but that's going to be the big change. There isn't going to be more power added to the car, but the gearing is going to be changed. So the gearing is going to be a lot shorter. I'm going to have a lot more available torque, especially on corner exit. My third gear is just really long, even fourth gear is extremely long as well, and there's just absolutely no torque. So the big change, 4.4 to a 4.9. And then just a couple of other small things. My car, before I actually owned it, was in an accident on the front passenger side corner. You can actually see part of the horn is actually crushed in a little bit. I really wanted to go and get that straightened out and everything, but again, the goal was to not spend so much money this year. The subframe is a little bit tweaked. My caster has always been a little bit off, so a subframe replacement is on the list. Did you guys see that Unit 2 subframe? It is so sexy, but I cannot justify buying that for the car quite yet. In addition to that, I'm going to be modifying the power steering rack properly, depowering it the right way. Right now I have it looped into a chase base reservoir. I'm going to remove all of that. I'm going to cut out the piston, lube it out with some CV2, do some welding on the internals, depower it the proper way so I can go ahead and check that off the list. Other than that, probably swap out my WinMax W5 pads to some Hawk DTC 60s or something like that. The W5s just aren't cutting it for me, so I'm going to need something a little bit more aggressive. The DTC 60s should be just a step above a W5, so we'll try that out and see how that goes. But other than that, not too many things changing on the car. All right, now what about the driver? What am I gonna do to improve my skills for this year? The one thing that I am for sure on is that I do wanna do a racing school this year. The goal is to do some wheel-to-wheel racing, perhaps GLTC in the future, who knows? But I wanna get some type of formal training in, get my competition license so that I can do some wheel-to-wheel racing if I want to. But if I find out that it's not for me, I would have still developed some more driver skill and I can transfer that over to the time attack world, because I would love to join Club TR as well. In terms of what school I'm going to, I'm not too sure yet. There's so many options and so many routes on how I can approach this. I just have to figure out what is going to be the most beneficial to me, the most cost effective, because I'm not trying to spend $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 at a driving school. I would like to use my own car at the driving school too. There's just so many ways about it, but for sure a driving school is going to be in the plans for this year. Other than that, I don't think I'm going to be competing in anything. Just going to continue to do more track days. Hopefully I get out to some grid life events. Hopefully I get to meet some more of you guys and mingle and get to know more of the community. But the idea is, yes, you guessed it right, just get more seat time. With that said, this weekend I'm planning on pulling the engine and trans and starting the major work on the car. Now the temps have really dropped here in Chicago. We're in the 20s, sometimes in the teens. It's really cold, so thankfully I have a heated garage to work in. But I've relaxed from the holidays long enough. It's time to get up and get to work and start grinding away once again. But other than that, I hope you guys had a safe holiday. Happy New Year again. I hope that's enough to fill you guys in on the plans for the car and myself for this year. So as always, if you guys liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stay updated with the car, especially with all the changes coming up soon, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't notice, I got some new hoodies. I've got the flag logo here, and I also have the bvspeed on the back. Actually a really comfy hoodie. bvspeed.com if you guys want to head over there, pick up some merch, help your boy out. I don't make any money on this stuff. It's just to kind of get my name out there. But until next time, be safe, be smooth, and I'll see you guys in the next video.